Next, we're going to look at a game called How Much, How Many. This is a game that came to the Greg Tang online website last year. So students who have been familiar with this website for a couple of years may have played this game, may not have very much experience with this game. How Much, How Many is really a game where you are working on some efficient strategies for grouping in order to add amounts quickly rather than becoming just a counting thinker. In kindergarten and first grade especially, we still have students who need to count to find how many, but we want to try and quickly transition students out of those methods or out of those strategies and into more efficient ways to group things to add quickly, which will then translate to a lot of the skills that have been worked on in a lot of these other games as well. So we're going to look at how much, how many. Like our other games, there are different levels to how much, how many, so we're just going to look at one of the lower levels and then we'll go up to one of the upper levels and just kind of see. So we've got level 1, we're going to compare to 5, level 2 comparing to 10, all the way up to level 6 where we're going with series and tricks. So we're going to see that there are different types of skills that are worked on these different types of levels, just like our other games. So there'd be different levels would be appropriate at different grade levels as well. So let's look at a level 2. Count up to 10. And there are going to be different types of questions. So it says we need to collect 20 items to get away with this. We can see that they've got that 10 frame again here, which is a big manipulative that's used in first grade and kindergarten to help students with finding those number partners that make 10. And it says how many crabs in all. So in this one, we might have students who are still counters. They might say 1, 2, 3. Hopefully we have some students who can realize that this is 5, and if I take away 2, that gives us 3. But now we have an equation that we have to solve. So it's more than just finding how many, it's how many would it take. And if you see, it took us long enough that they started showing those 2 crabs up there to help us out. So 3 plus 2 would give us 5. So now we have a new equation, 5 minus what equals 5. So that becomes a little bit harder here. We can see that we have 5 crabs. How many would we have to take away to get to 5? Which we can see that if we take some away, we wouldn't have 5 left, so our answer is 0. And then we collect those crabs, and this is where our running total continues. So you're going to see a lot of questions that are very similar to the same thing. So I'm going to just start working through some of these. How many scallop shells are in all? There are 2. 2 plus what number? So we can count 1, 2, 3, or hopefully our students can quickly and efficiently group this as 3. And then 5 minus what would give us 4. So unfortunately, like our other games, we can't just click and take things away, but again, they're going to show us that little trick there. They're going to show us that little hint to show that if we take 1 away, we get to 4. This is great for students in first grade and kindergarten who are working on some of these skills for the first time. So I'll continue just working through some of these, and I'll show you kind of what happens when we get to our 20 here. We have 2 lobsters, 2 plus 3 more, so we're really working on making groups of 5 here. And then 5 minus 1 would give us 4. So we're close to our 20 here. We've got 5 walruses in all. 5 plus 0 gives us 5. And 5 minus 4 gives us 1. Oh, we've got 19. They're really going to make us work to get this. 2 plus 3 more. So we can see we're getting repeated practice with that exact same skill. 5 minus 1 gives us 4. And we've reached our goal of at least 20. So just like our other games, we're going to go up to 2, and we have to collect 40 items. Now we can see that we're going past that 5 group. So you can see how these things start to build on each other. And hopefully we have kids group that says 5 and 2 to make 7. And then 7 plus are 3 more. So we can see that we're working up to 10 now. So let's go back, let's look at a level 6, which is going to be much more advanced compared to what we just did there. If we look through, this is series and tricks, so this is going to be kind of different types of tricks that we can use to quickly and efficiently group things. On 5, we're working with nested arrays. Arrays are a big thing from 3rd and 4th grade when students are learning to multiply. We have groups to 10, so we can see that we're going more than just individual pieces. We're looking at groups of objects. So let's go ahead and look at a level 6. Like other games, I'll tell you, it's probably going to take some thinking from me to go through this as well. So it might be kind of slow processing here. So we're going to collect 150 items, and we can see that how many eggs. So here's the thing that we have to look at. There are groups of eggs of 1 and groups of eggs of 2. So if we look here, these two blue groups are actually the same, they're just not in the same order. There's only one group of 2 in each. So that if I know that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 2 groups of 5 makes 10. Plus one more group of 5 makes 15. So we can kind of start looking at some different tricks to get our answer there. Okay, this is another kind of interesting one also. If we look here, we could count by saying every row adds on 2 more, or we might be able to understand that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 2 more makes 10. Well, this is actually 6 and 4, that makes 10 also. So we have 10 yellow and 10 blue to give us 20. So you're going to see a lot of those different types of things. Now this is an interesting one because we almost have 3 groups of 5, so students could say this is 3 times 5 minus 1, or 15 minus 1 is 14. You can see we're probably going to run out of time up here before we finish this one. So this is another interesting one here as well, because students can start to find a pattern, but then those patterns get pulled off a little bit as we go through here. Okay, so students could, so you can see that we're getting close to the end here. They're trying to let us know that we're getting close to our end. So we could say 3 and 3, and 2 and 2, and 1, oops, too late. So you can see some of the different types of skills that we're trying to work on there. This is a very difficult skill for students to develop when really they don't have a whole lot of practice doing it. How much, how many is an incredibly important game for teaching number sense and teaching efficient grouping strategies for students to count quickly. And even in this case, we saw in the level 6 puzzles that students are doing multiplication as well, or creating their own equations to find their answers.